Oh, excited about it was a big SEC road win for us. I thought did a lot for the kids and the confidence. Very proud of all the things they fought through, the adversity, a lot of injuries, a lot of guys playing on defense. Miles Hartsfield played every position in the secondary. Armani and Tylen stepping up. Just proud of the guys that continued to fight. But a huge SEC road win for us. Injuries, Markel Winters sprained his knee, so he's out about 4 weeks. And then DK Metcalf, he hurt his neck. It's a little bit more serious than we thought, and he'll be done for the season. And hoping to get C.J. Miller back, and hoping to get Floyd Allen back this week. So we had several injuries. These kids put a lot into it. You know, C.J. Moore, Jalen Jones, Custis, DK. They put so much into this stuff, and it's so important. But I think long term, all these kids will bounce back and be fine. And you know that's what you think about their long term well being and making sure they get the best care they possibly can. But but again, our guys will bounce back and they'll be resilient. And moving forward to Auburn, just excited to be back at home, 5-2 with some momentum going. I know our crowd will be great, playing against a very good Auburn team, one of the best front sevens in the country. They're very good up front, long in the secondary. And then, offensively, they've always been really good at running the football, and so we'll have to do a great job of stopping the run and stopping their play action shots. So obviously it'll be a big challenge, but excited to be back home in front of our home crowd.
Everybody, Grant, you have a question? Bring the microphone to you. We'll start with Dave over here.
Just kind of on DK, you said it was more serious than you initially thought. Can you elaborate a little bit on what's wrong with him?
I mean, long term he's going to be fine, but I think it's going to require surgery. We're still looking to make sure that we have the very best care and everything for him. But it's not a long term issue. It's just, but it is going to be one. He'll be done for the season.
So is it like a spinal thing, or I know
again,
you're not a doctor?
No, it has nothing to do with the spinal. It's all vertebrae. But again, long term, he's going to be fine. It's just something that is going to prevent him from playing the rest of the season.
How does that affect the offense? I mean, what do you do with your receivers going forward? Who is kind of that second or third guy that you think?
No, Braylon will step in there, and then you have Elijah. So you may be able to move AJ around some and let Elijah and AJ play at the same time, and then Braylon's done well. He would normally be if DK ran a deep route and he came off, Braylon would go in. So he's the next guy that would step in there.
Hey, Matt, do you remember when he got hurt in the game?
Yeah, so it was early in the first quarter after our first drive. Yeah.
Did he notice it right away?
Yeah,
or was it something
it happened right away. Initially, just thought it was a kind of a whiplash type thing, but we got back and did the MRIs and everything, and it came back late last night.
What was his reaction to it? I'm sure it was very disappointing.
Yeah, obviously very disappointing, and so that was. Again, that they put a lot into this, and it's so important to them. But in the grand scheme of things, I think long term is what you have to look at, and I think he's going to be fine.
Questions?
After a huge comeback like that, obviously it had to be an exciting locker room. Can you share that moment with us?
Yeah, I think, even given the records, I just thought it was a gutsy win. You just see, Jalen Julius, shoulders, popping out. He's getting back up and he's playing, and see Armani and Tylen and the guys just battling and competing, and DK not being out there, and Dawson and all the guys stepping up and making plays. And it's in the rain, and you're on the road, and you're down 17, and they just kept fighting and they kept competing. So, just a proud, gutsy win that will give us some momentum going forward. And then now you're coming home at 5-2. And to get some momentum and the crowd fired up about coming and playing another big game in Oxford, I think that's I think that's what you're most proud of, is you get the momentum going forward. And these kids, when they lay it all on the line, they get something back. They get to be happy and they get to enjoy it together.
Coach, I know the defense has not always been at the right place at the right time, but when they are, these last few weeks, they're really hitting hard, playing with a lot of motion. Just talk about McGriff and the defensive staff keeping those guys going.
Well, I think, you look at it, in the first half, we didn't do a very good stopping the run. And a lot of credit to them in the second half, coming back and making adjustments and holding those guys to 2 field goals. That kind of gets left out in the whole thing. They did a really, really good job at, the second half of holding those guys to 2 field goals and getting the big stops at the end of the game when we needed it. So I thought they did a really good job. Proud of a guy like Willie Hibbler that made a play at the end of the game to not only get us off the field but also saved us a timeout right there. So just a lot of good play. I mentioned Miles earlier playing star, both corners, safety. I mean, he played it all. So just really proud of some guys stepping up.
We'll keep it down here for this last question, David.
Matt, just coming off that win Saturday night, can you just kind of look ahead and talk about the importance of this Saturday's game against Auburn for you guys?
Yeah, it's big. You have an open date after this. So I think it's very, very important that we do battle through all the injuries. Everybody steps up. We close ranks and just keep marching forward and keep finding a way to go try to be 1-0 this week, going into the open date. So, we'll go out, we'll have a great week of practice, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's an early kick, but, anytime you have an SEC game in Oxford, I know our fans will show up, and it'll be a great atmosphere.
We'll go up top.
Coach, elaborating on Auburn, what impresses you the most about their front seven on the defensive side?
They're big and fast. No, they're very good. They got experienced linebackers. They're big. They're twitchy. They stop the run. They rush the passer, and you have to be opportunistic when the plays are there. You have to make them. You have to be patient in the run game, even though you might only be getting 2 or 3 yards. You still got to give the body punches and keep them off balance because you can't play on your heels against them. They're too good.
Could you elaborate a little bit on Willie Hibbler and what has he done to kind of rise back up the depth chart?
Well, I think the first thing is experience, his communication skills and getting people lined up. He's really taken a step forward with that and improved. Still a lot that he can do in the run game to be better, but you are seeing improvement, especially with communication and being in the right spot.
It seemed to me that he was playing faster or has been playing faster. Do you sense that?
Yeah, but again, when you know what to do, you're going to play faster. So that's the whole thing, is if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, that everybody is you're going to know what to do, so you're going to get there a little bit faster. So I think that is accurate. But again, you don't want to be satisfied. We want to continue to move forward.
Scotty Phillips, so if you would just assess what you've seen from him to this point in the season, is it what you thought you would see, more or less?
Well, again, I think I used, or before the season, cautiously optimistic, because you've been around a lot of good football players and seen a lot of good backs, and when you saw him, that's what you saw. You saw a really good back, very twitchy, has the ability to make people miss, and like you saw on the winning touchdown score, able to run through somebody to get into the end zone. So I think he's been very, very good, maybe better than I thought.
Matt, Auburn's always been, run first, maybe throw it second. It appears, because I just saw a little bit of that game Saturday, they don't have that marquee running back that maybe they've had in the past. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, I do think that they are good at running back. Travis Whitlow is a very, very physical runner, and he's really good. Very impressed with him, and they got Malik Miller and Cam Martin behind them. And so I do think they're very, very good, and they're going to come in here and run the football. That's what they're going to do. They're going to get back to basics, and they're going to come in here and run the football and then throw play actions. And with that, we'll have our work cut out for us, because we're going to have to do a good job of stopping the run and then them taking their shots deep. They got some receivers that can really, really run and make plays down the field.
After the game, McGriff was talking about really focusing on the positives as opposed to those big explosive plays that
Right.
they gave up in the first half. How do you balance trying to fix those, but also confidence?
Well, I think it's always easier to fix those problems after a win because you can focus on the positives. Hey, look, this is what it looks like when we do it right. But again, it goes back to the same thing. I don't mean to be like a broken record, but going back to consistency. So you can see the same play done right, and then you see the same play done wrong. And you just got to make sure you keep showing up and being consistent over and over and over again, because in this league, if you aren't consistent, you'll get exploited.
What does the rotation now look like with Winters out for the next month?
Yeah, I mean, again, having Victor Evans come back, that certainly helps. But having Tiz in there, I mean, he's been playing good. Markel, Victor. I mean, so I think, that just some guys will have to step up. In pass rush, you may see Tiz out there a little bit more.